Good morning, Mizzou fans. Gabe DeArmond here with you, PM in the AM for Tuesday, March 11th. We are going to take a look at both Missouri basketball programs at opposite ends of the spectrum. Today, we will get to that in just a minute. Want to remind you, as we do every morning, we're brought to you by our friends at the Cornerstone Family Medicine Clinic. They offer in-person and virtual memberships that can supplement or replace your expensive insurance and also replace urgent care and ER visits because they are available anytime outside of business hours. They offer affordable plans, both individual and for employers, to provide health benefits to employees anywhere from $22 to $55 a month, depending on your age, your situation, what you are looking for out of Cornerstone. Check them out at cornerstonefmclinic.com. Okay, two Missouri basketball programs. One of them getting ready for the biggest time of the year. The other one trying to find a new coach and start all over. So where are we going to start? Well, let's start with the women. First of all, again, looking for a coach. We know that. We met with Laird Veach last week. He was talking about what he's looking for. It was all the things everybody always looks for, right? They want somebody who's a proven winner and can recruit and all those things. So some names have started to surface. I posted on our message board yesterday that I am confident that Missouri is involved. There is some level of mutual interest, either have spoken to or going to speak to three coaches. That is Molly Miller at Grand Canyon University, used to be at Drury. Jeff Mittie, who's at Kansas State, has ties to the state. And then also Kelly Harper, the former Tennessee coach, who is now an ESPN analyst, was out of coaching last year. In addition to those coaches, the Twitter account, Skim Mulkey, yes, that is a real thing. Skim Milky, with the avatar of Kim Mulkey. Anyway, tweeted the other day, actually tweeted on Monday, Missouri's search for the next head coach has included conversations via Zoom with Jeff Mittie, Molly Miller, Beth Cunningham, who's at Missouri State, Sharman Smith, who is at Cal, and one more sitting Power 4 head coach over the last 72 hours. So that seems to be the candidate pool. We're looking at 5 or 6 names. Molly Miller, Jeff Mittie, certainly in the running. Kelly Harper, I believe, in the running. Those are all going to cost a fair amount of money. I've said since the beginning, what we find out in this coaching search is how much Missouri is willing to commit. And you guys know in college sports these days, that means how much is Missouri willing to spend. While Laird Veach is looking for a new women's coach, the men's team will take off tomorrow for Nashville, Tennessee, and the SEC tournament. Our own Drew King will also take off tomorrow and will be there as long as Missouri is there in Nashville. First game, 6 o'clock Thursday night against the winner of Mississippi State and LSU. And guys, I've been preaching for 3 weeks like the SEC tournament's not that big a deal. That's kind of still true, but that Thursday night game, I've changed my mind. It's a big deal for Missouri. Missouri is slipping, as you guys all know, 4 out of 5 losses to end the season, but not just slipping as far as the results and the wins and losses, slipping in terms of the bracket and where everybody has them placed. They are now down to the last 6 seed on bracket matrix. It's not gospel, right? Things can change. Things can be wrong also. But the general consensus now is that Missouri is a 6 seed, maybe even trending toward a 7. If Missouri loses that Thursday night game, I would not be surprised to see the Tigers pop up as a 7 seed on Selection Sunday. The reasons are real simple. They're right now 6-10 against quad 1 opponents. It's a lot of games, but it's a sub 500 record. We had Rocco Miller on our show last night. He does bracketology at bracketeer.org, also works with Field of 68 and a number of other places. And he said a higher winning percentage, even if you don't have as many games in those quad 1 opportunities, could be a big deal for the committee. So when you compare Missouri's 6-10 record to say somebody that's, 7-7, 6-5, that might be a difference maker. The other one, the 3 wins away from home. We've talked about it all year. Every game the rest of the way is being played away from home. Missouri hadn't played very well away from home. They're 3-8, and those 3 wins are all way back. I think February 1st was the last one. So those are the 2 limiting factors. Why does a 7 seed versus a 6 seed matter? Some will say it doesn't. I think it does, and here's why. Because that second round matchup, if you get there, and there's no guarantee, 6 seed, 7 seed, whatever, upsets happen in March all the time. But if you get there, if you're a 6 seed, you're facing a 3, which is a team that has had a better season than you, but it's kind of in the neighborhood. You're probably talking about an Iowa State, a Kentucky, maybe a Texas A&M, a Texas Tech, something like that. If you're a 7, you're facing a 2 seed, which could be Alabama or Tennessee. I would think they would avoid that if they could. But the other 2 seeds, Michigan State, maybe Houston, maybe Florida, we're talking the kind of cream of the crop. I think you've got Duke and Auburn on one level. And then I think you've got Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Michigan State, Houston. You've got a group of teams that is that kind of 1A. It might not be Auburn and Duke, but it's a cut above everybody else. I think there's a gap between the 2 seeds and the 3 seeds this year, or at least those top 7 teams and everybody else. So if you can get onto that 6 line, I think it gives you a much better chance of advancing to the Sweet 16, which I think is the goal for this Missouri team at this point in time. Get there and then take your chances and see what happens. Missouri hadn't been to a Sweet 16 in 16 years now. So appreciate you guys joining us. One more day before the SEC tournament starts, and we will be talking a lot of basketball here over the next couple of weeks. Once again, check out our friends at Cornerstone Family Medicine, cornerstonefmclinic.com. Jump back here with me tomorrow morning, and then Wednesday night, we will be live again with Drew King from Nashville. Talk to you then.